Hi everyone, S.C. Smith here, and I'd like to introduce Marie Long.
Hello.
And we're trying to do a quick Facebook Live. We have Hurricane Matthew knocking on the window behind us. So I wanted to introduce you to Marie, who I was like terrified earlier, as you guys know. I posted that really emotional video this morning, and I have to admit I was so happy when I saw Marie's post. She goes, "I'm downstairs. This is what I'm wearing. Come meet me." And I was like, "I'll be there in a minute. I don't know who you are, but I'm coming." And she has been, I've been like her shadow all day long.
I've really been her shadow. Been
So
following her like everywhere, asking questions, picking her brain. So she's amazing. Did I mention you're amazing? You're really amazing.
yeah, well, she's saying that picking the brain. I think she knows that we're having the zombie party on Saturday night. She's trying to see if it's going to be a good appetizer. So anyway, we're at the IndieBookFest 2016 in Orlando, Florida, and I was really excited to meet Marie, and I wanted to introduce her to you guys. Marie, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you got into writing, and a little bit about your books.
Okay, well, hello. I'm Marie Long. I write new adult romance. I've been writing all my life, really, and I just started writing romance since probably 2014 or so. And my first book, Scarred, which is right here, and actually it recently like won an award last week. And this is my award here. It's the Maggie Award, and I was like so ecstatic. It's yeah.
So tell us about the Maggie Award.
The Maggie Award is actually a very prestigious award put on by the Georgia Romance Writers, which they're part of the Romance Writers of America, and it's like probably one step below the Rita and Golden Heart Awards, which is like the highest, like the Oscars of romance writing. And I was so surprised that my indie book became like beat out New York Times bestsellers and all these like really popular authors, and I'm like, wow, I cried. I cried a lot. But,
So tell us a little bit about Scarred.
okay, well, Scarred is the first book of a three-book series about three brothers that meet three best friends, and basically their journey through how they meet each other and their struggles. The first book is about the youngest brother, Dominic Anderson, and he meets a young girl named Denise, and basically she goes through some trials and he has to save her, and it turns out that they have a past that are kind of the same, and they need to kind of work it out together. So it's about struggle. They're in college, so the struggles of college life and just life in general. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. And of course, it's a happily ever after because it's a romance.
And I like happily ever after. Anyone who knows me knows that. Amy says, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks.
So tell us a little bit how you got into writing.
Well, like I said, I've always loved writing as a kid. I wrote like fan fiction. I wrote fantasy novels. And I just started writing romance because, particularly new adult romance, because I like to write in the male point of view, and I was trying to find more books that are in the male point of view, and I couldn't. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I gotta write some. So that's how Scarred came about, and the rest of my books, and yeah, it's sort of history. So
Tell us a little bit more about the other books. How many books do you have out? Do you have all three books in this series?
yeah, all three books are out. Book 2 is Scratched, which is the middle brother named Kevin, and Scorned is the third book. His name is Michael. He's the oldest brother. And I'm actually working on a prequel book now, kind of before the Anderson brothers, basically about their uncle when they were their age. And so it's sort of like, kind of a little like, take a little view of more of the family. And I also have a novel that I've been kind of working on as well, Scathed, which is after Scorn. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of writing more series as they come to me, but yeah, these are like my flagship series right now.
Now, one of the things that I was really impressed with is she told me, and I wish she could turn around so you could see the back, she has the Taekwondo. And I have to tell you, she found the stairwell for us because none of us would have figured out how to even locate it. It ends up in a filing cabinet room. And
Literally.
then she talks about, taking the stairs. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, I'm good going down. Just don't ask me to go up. So, do you do Taekwondo? I have to know this.
I do. I teach Taekwondo. We have kids and adults, and I'm one of the instructors there. And yeah, I've been doing it probably since when I was a kid, like back in the 90s, and then I really started getting more into it. Probably back in 2005 is when I came back from college. Then I just kind of went full time with it, and it's like an addiction. I love it. Keeps me in shape, and I love it.
All right, so Marie, let them readers know where they can find out more about your books and about your great writing stories.
Okay, you can find me. You can find me on Facebook, Marie Long Author, and my website www.marielongauthor.com. And I'm also on Twitter and Instagram, same Marie Long Author. So just find me on all the social media sites, and yeah, send me a holler, and I will definitely respond to any questions you have.
And if you get a chance, make sure that you check out Scarred by Marie Long. Thank you. Now, I also have another author. I'm going to introduce her. Bye, Marie.
All right, see ya.
I'm going to introduce you to Catalina. Catalina, hi. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Catalina, now, last night I was finishing up dinner, and I'm sitting there trying to do Facebook and stuff like that, and I'm trying not to freak out, and I'm exhausted from the trip. And Catalina came over, and she said, "Are you Susan?" And I said, "Yes." And she's like, "Oh, well, you want to come over and sit with my husband and I while we eat and stuff like that?" So I went over, and she was the first author here that I got to meet. So I was really, really excited.
I'm the one who got lucky. Again, I picked her brain too, and not as an appetizer.
So, Marie, tell us a little bit about some of your books.
Well, actually, she's Marie.
I mean,
no, that's
Marie,
okay
I'm
because
sorry.
I'm Maria
Yeah.
Catalina.
Maria Catalina.
There you go.
And then,
I write under my initials, which
That's
are
true.
M.C.V. Egan. And I chose to show you The Bridge of Deaths because you said you like happy love stories.
I love how, and
And
not only
I
that,
started-
I gotta show
yes?
something. Do you guys remember, and I'm sure most of you do, the photo that my husband took of the Catalina Carmen? Well,
Named after me? No.
we're going to say that it was named after her.
Thank you. The Bridge of Deaths is based on a 100% true story of a plane crash in 1939, 2 weeks before Hitler invaded Poland and the world went insane with World War II. The 5 deaths that were reported, one of them was my maternal grandfather. And I was always really obsessed, not just with the way he died and all the intrigue about it, but he was an avid collector. So I grew up looking at paintings and things that really brought him to life, even though he died 20 years before I was born. But because I'm dealing with such a tedious and sad reality of what World War II was, I have the voice of the story is told from a young couple in modern-day London investigating their past life. And I do give them the honor of having nice things happen to them at the end because they spent so much time digging through very sad things.
And now, tell me about the survivor.
The survivor was the pilot. He did not die until 1979, and he was an Australian immigrant. Mm-hmm. And he was a pilot for British Airways Ltd., which is part of like the British Airways that we know today, mm-hmm. but not the main part. Their main part is what was known as Imperial Airways. They all merged, I think, they actually merged in 39, right around the time of World War II. And the pilot had a very interesting and odd story because he did not join the RAF right through the war. He was categorized as a private pilot, and he went up a lot. But the strangest thing I can tell you that happened to me while researching the pilot and his wife is that is the couple, the young couple I have researching the reincarnation. He's the pilot and she's the wife. And because I was dealing with the tedium of war, I wanted a peaceful angle. I wanted a pacifist. So I wanted to name the character he fell in love with either Olivia or Irene, because both names mean peace.
Uh-huh.
And it just, I would struggle. I couldn't give her that name, and it's like her name had to be Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me a little angry because I thought, well, Margaret Thatcher started that war in the Falklands. I kind of don't want to use a British Maggie, right? Well, deep into the book, I go onto Ancestry.com, and I found these people's wedding certificate, and her real name was Margaret Price.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was so wow that I was able to make the reader in the book, when she finds out that the name of the person she was in a past life was Maggie, she's like floored. And it's because I was able to convey how floored I was.
Now, I
with the
know
emotion.
that you actually got recognition for the details and stuff in this book.
In Australia, in the Pacific Flyer, they gave me a full page. And I'm in various genealogy. That's a lot of people from genealogy places, mostly in the United States. But I recently came in contact with a historian in the UK, which is nice. I was so lucky that I piqued the curiosity of well-known aviation and historians in that realm who held my hand and helped me. And the most well-known of them was Ron Davies, who was a curator at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. And when I first connected with him by phone, he had the data of my plane wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally got to meet him face to face, and he took me on this back of the house tour of the Air and Space Smithsonian, and he's pulling out all the files in red letters. There it said corrected by.
It'll
Oh
come
no,
back.
it came back.
Yeah, it comes back.
So in the year, I think it said the year 2000, but I was like, oh, I'm recorded in the Smithsonian.
And
So
this
very
is
nice.
something that's really important to note, that a lot of authors, they do a lot of research. And through that research, we bring the stories to life. And a lot of them have true pieces, even my stories, which are set out in, in outer space. The people behind it or the situations are generally based on things that we have actually gotten facts on.
If you don't do that, it doesn't feel real. You can always tell when you pick up a book that has not been properly researched, you can tell that it doesn't feel real.
And
The tangibles are huge.
and it needs that to
Mm-hmm.
be able to bring the story to life for our readers.
And today, it's such an easy thing to do. Today, to just get online and Google it a few times. A great tool that people love to knock Wikipedia because anybody can go in and adjust it. But a very good way to use Wikipedia is to go to the bottom of a page and see the resources they used.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking up something, that's a great fountain of information to find lists of books or archives that are going to give you a great game. It's almost like like when we were young, the little library cards you would use.
Yes. Oh,
that you can
I don't know
use
if you guys
Wikipedia.
remember that, but I do. The card catalog.
There you
Card
go.
catalog. Now, tell me a little bit about how long you've been writing and what your passion is.
I love to tell stories. And when I was 12, we left my native Mexico and moved to Washington, D.C. So I started writing really long letters to my friends because that was the era of snail mail. And you didn't just send a quick text. And I would send these huge letters describing all my impressions of how different life was compared to the life that I had left. I mean, I was in a sophisticated Mexico City and, then went to the super sophisticated Washington, D.C. It wasn't like, it was comparing things that are similar, capitals of two countries. But that was part of what got me started in a need to convey an idea through writing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really, really got me started. And I love storytelling. And it's just so nice to be able to share it and to get feedback. And in Palm Beach County, where I live, which apparently we're not going to suffer too much with a hurricane, so I'm really glad everybody's safe. there is such a vast fountain of people and critique groups and meeting
So you
groups.
have a lot of support.
There's
there.
a lot of support of people that I admire tremendously, so that'll help you and allow you to grow as a writer, which is nice.
All right. So the book again is The Bridge of Deaths,
And the website has the same name.
and the website has the same name, so it's thebridgeofdeaths.com. So don't forget to check out Catalina's book.
What is Natalie saying there?
Norel says your love for storytelling shows through in how you talk about your books.
Thank you, Narelle. Hi, Narelle. Sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I called you Natalie.
That's because I kept bringing her in, and she's like, "Wait a minute, where's my glasses?" And I'm like, "Well, we're working. We're not working. We are working." No. So anyway, if you get a chance, I'd like for you to check out Catalina's story, and I'd like for you to check out Marie. Marie, give it a second, it'll
I was
play.
doing.
And then make sure.
Oh, I want to say something else funny about Marie. You know, part of a thing in my book is that everything that's coincidences and that gives you messages. And when she was saying the thing about the taekwondo jacket, when she turned around when we were leaving the dining room today, I'm like, no, Wright's Taekwondo. That's the name of my pilot. Clifford Frederick Cecil Wright was the pilot of the plane.
That's my
And-
master's
and-
name.
And you know what's funny is I'm always talking about how everything is kind of serendipitous. Everything comes together. And like, I never would have met these ladies if I hadn't, come to IndieBookFest. And even though I wasn't going to come because of all the situation going on right now, it was like, I'm so glad that I did, because otherwise I'd be a total basket case. So I'd like to thank you both for such
thank you.
a wonderful time. And I've only been here 24 hours, so I may be a nervous wreck again tomorrow. So I hope to talk to you guys. If we have power, I'll be here. And we'll have more interviews.
Well, we'll have power because there's a generator in the hotel, but we might not have internet.
We may not have elevators, which means I may not be going anywhere else.
You gotta take the stairs in the secret filing cabinet room. That's
Yeah, in the secret file cabinet room. I'd like to say hi to everyone.
Oh, look at all the
We're
nice
still doing
messages
good.
you got. Susan.
Books look backwards.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I did. Yeah, the books are backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do much about that. So you're just
Does
gonna
this
have to
work
try.
better?
Yeah, we'll try it this way. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you and have a great time and be safe.
We will. We are
Bye,
safe.
everyone.
Everybody keep safe.